I moved into the house on a Thursday, just before dusk. The sky was gray, and the air smelled of wet wood and old stone. The house was old, yes, but charming in a way. Creaky stairs, cold floors, dust that shimmered in the late afternoon light like ash. The real estate agent had assured me everything was in order. I'd seen the floor plan, reviewed the photos, signed the contract. Everything checked out. On the first day, I unpacked the kitchen. On the second, I sorted through the books. On the third day, I noticed something I hadn't seen before. A narrow door at the end of the hallway, painted the same color as the wall, nearly invisible in low light. I figured I'd missed it. Moving is chaotic. Brain skipped details. I opened it. The smell hit me first. Mold, dust, a bitter dampness like old breath trapped in wood. It was a tiny room. No windows, no lights. Just a bare wooden floor and peeling walls. No furniture, no socket, nothing. Just space. I left the door slightly ajar. That night I heard the floorboards creak in the hallway. Slowly, carefully, like someone trying not to be heard. I got up, listened. Silence. Old houses do that, I told myself. Wood shifts, air moves. It's nothing. But when I turned back toward my bedroom, the door I'd left ajar was now shut. The next day I checked it again. The doorknob was cold. The air inside felt heavier than before. Better. But what made my stomach drop were the marks on the dusty floor. Footprints. Faint. Barefoot. Circular. As if someone had been pacing. I closed the door and locked it with a rusty key I'd found in a drawer. That night, I dreamed about an eye staring at me through the keyhole. The next morning, I called the real estate agent. The floor plan shows 3 rooms, right? Not 4. Silence on the other end. What 4th room? The one at the end of the hall. No windows. It wasn't in the photos. More silence. Then she said, Mr. Carvalho, that wall is supposed to be solid. I sent her photos, a video walkthrough. 15 minutes later, she called me back. Her voice was shaking. That room shouldn't be there. That's when things began to change. At night, I started hearing whispers. Not voices, just syllables. Words chewed up and spat out like someone trying to speak through a sewn mouth. The hallway light would flicker. Always around 3 a.m. One night, I put my eye to the keyhole. Saw nothing, but felt something. Like the dark was staring back. After that, things in the house began to move on their own. Books fell from shelves. The faucet turned itself on. The radio played static, then silence. One evening, when I came back from the store, the locked door was wide open. I called my friend Marcos. He's an architect. Told him I needed a second opinion. He came by, measured the walls, frowned. That room isn't on the outside. What? That wall. It's supposed to be the exterior of the house. But that room... We walked outside to the garden. The wall was smooth, clean. No bulge, no window. No sign that anything was on the other side. Just flat brick. He looked at me, unsettled. This isn't bad design. It's something else. That night, I didn't sleep. Around 2 a.m., I heard metal dragging across wood. Chains. Heavy. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight. The door was open, slightly. Inside, something new. A wooden chair, facing the wall, and scrawled across that wall, in my own handwriting, "You've been here before. You let him out. You are the door." I hadn't written that, but it was my handwriting. I sat on the floor and watched the doorway for hours. Didn't blink, didn't move. When morning came, I barricaded the door. Chairs, boxes, nails, salt around the frame, incense. I even whispered prayers I hadn't said in years. But deep down I knew it was already too late. The next day, the door was gone. The wall was smooth. No seams, no frame, just plaster and paint. I stared at it for hours. Felt like if I blinked, it would reappear. I went to the doctor, got tested. Brains